Hey everybody, Kartik Subramaniam over at ADHI Schools. Wanted to bring a little piece of real estate news to you. Hugh Frater was recently named the CEO of Fannie Mae. And the reason I want to talk about this specifically is I get a lot of questions from people as to what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are. So Fannie Mae is a quasi-governmental organization or entity that basically purchases loans from banks on the secondary market. So what that means is, and by the way, this is why the person leading Fannie Mae, as well as Freddie Mac, as well as Ginnie Mae, that's the reason why the key C-level people in these organizations can really help affect the overall real estate economy, which in turn affects the overall economy in the country and around the world. Basically, what Fannie Mae does is, let's say Wells Fargo, I know it might seem like big banks like Wells Fargo or Bank of America have literally an unlimited amount of money and resources, but they don't. Even big banks actually are constrained by economic realities, that they don't have unlimited resources. They're pretty close, but not unlimited. Basically, let's say Wells Fargo made $2 billion in mortgage loans. Now, those mortgage loans are typically for 10, 15, or 30 years. Wells Fargo might not want to wait 30 years to get all that money back. Now, a lot of those people are going to sell their house. I understand that the loans are going to be paid off. They're going to refinance them if they get a lower rate, whatever. But theoretically, Wells Fargo may have to hold those loans for up to 30 years. Wells Fargo doesn't want that necessarily. So basically what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do is that they will buy certain loans from Wells Fargo. So if Wells Fargo made you a $400,000 loan, in some period of time, whether it's days, weeks, months, or years, Wells Fargo may end up selling that loan to what's called the secondary mortgage market. Now, for Wells Fargo, what's pretty sweet about that deal is that Wells Fargo funds the loan, Fannie Mae buys that loan off of Wells Fargo, and now Wells Fargo has that money back, and they can re-lend it for another home loan or an auto loan or a student loan or a credit card loan or whatever. So notice that Fannie Mae is playing a critical role to make sure that the economy, particularly the real estate economy, has liquidity. Because if Wells Fargo had to sit with those loans for 10, 20, 30 years, they might be reluctant to make new home loans because they're stuck with you for 3 decades, and they might only make a finite amount of mortgage loans. So again, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will buy those loans in the secondary market, and the bank will then they'll regain liquidity so they can go out and make new loans. So Fannie Mae has a new CEO. There was a Wall Street Journal article about this. I'll link that in the description box, but I want to be very clear that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and Ginnie Mae is for government loans, but the point is that these entities play a critical role in making sure that banks are eager to lend. Because Wells Fargo knows if they make a certain amount of loans, there's always going to be a secondary market for that because of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, the government plays a key role in setting some of the guidelines under which Fannie and Freddie will buy these loans. Like, for example, let's say one of my friends just took a $10 million listing in Bel Air, and I think it's on Stone Canyon or something, but the point is that there's not going to be, if you put 30% down on that $10 million home, you're going to be borrowing $7 million. There really isn't a secondary market for a $7 million loan because if you're an investor in the secondary market like Fannie and Freddie, you don't want to buy one big $7 million loan. You might rather do $2,350,000 loans because $2,350,000 loans, they're smaller bites to bite, number one. Number two, they are diversified among risk. They're not stuck with one borrower. They've spread that risk among 20. So these really big loans, there's not really a huge secondary market for them simply because it's so much capital that potentially could be tied up for a significant period. So now you know what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do. You know that Fannie Mae is getting a new CEO here. Leave a comment in the description box. A lot of people through the recession, actually, this last recession, 2008 through 2012, were totally against Fannie and Freddie because they thought, they're buying loans that they shouldn't have bought and encouraging all these lenders to, make a bunch of nonsensical loans. But leave a comment below. What do you think about Fannie and Freddie? Have you subscribed to the channel? If you haven't, I'd encourage you to do that now. And I'd love to connect with you on Instagram, and we'll catch you on the next video. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks.